Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast, Morning Market Roundup with Chip Nellinger. Chip, it's one of the few occasions we get to sit next to each other and do this.
Live.
Yeah, live. So we're here at the Moving Iron Summit here in Nashville, that's next year, Las Vegas right now. And so you just got done with your presentation. You gave a real good presentation about what you see happening in the marketplace and what's going on out there. So let's talk about a little bit about this new NAFTA thing, the new, whatever it's called now. The USMCA or whatever.
CFMA, I don't know. It's fun to play at the YMCA.
That's right, yeah. Whatever they're calling it now. So that's got to put a little more confidence back into the market right now when we start looking at how our interaction with Canada and Mexico is going to be over the next unforeseen amount of time.
Yeah, that's huge, and that's been something that the market has been hoping would get resolved for quite a while, and finally we did. You know, Mexico's such a huge player in all our ag markets: corn, beans, meal, hogs, pork, I should say, beef, just massive. So that was good news to the market to get that finalized and know that, hey, we've got this a done deal, including Canada. Is it going to be the silver bullet? No. But it at least solidifies in the market's mind that demand's going to be there, and that's important, especially given the fact that it's not going so well, it sounds like, with China. But I think that, eventually it will. So, that's kind of the last domino, so to speak, is this China thing. That still may take a while, but the market kind of breathes a sigh of relief that, this Mexico is secured as a trading partner going forward, and that's a massive, massive thing for our ag products.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. When you start looking at China and what's happening with that, it has kind of deteriorated into a, we're going to wait till after the election. Very political move on their part, and how they're going to move forward with that. I hate to say that I'm not concerned right now because we typically don't sell a lot of products to China until February, March timeframe. So we do have some seasonal time frame here that we're gonna see some stuff. But I'm concerned after the first year what that looks like. Is China going to start rerouting buying beans from us through other countries so they don't have to pay their own tariff that they've got there, or is are they just going to try to figure out something different with, Brazil almost on the verge of being out of beans, and then they'll have another resupply here this winter when their next crop comes in. So talk about that a little bit and kind of what some ideas that you might have there.
Yeah, it's a moving target too, and some of that's going to be dependent on how big the Brazilian crop is, and Argentina to some extent. So obviously they're kind of very early on in their planting here. Just real early stuff. So you get 6 weeks down the road, they'll be planting, and then by February they'll have beans. So that's going to be huge in the market's mind. But it is happening, kind of what you said already. Our beans are so much cheaper, and our basis is just horrendous. In the interior, particularly the northern plains. So Canada's been selling a lot of beans to China out of their west coast, and then they're buying our beans out of the Dakotas and Minnesota to crush domestically in Canada. Same thing's been happening in Argentina. They're importing our beans. It pencils for them to sell what beans they do have left to China, import our beans to crush. So it's crazy how this world market and the puzzle pieces move around. I don't know, like you said, Brazilian and U.S. beans have come together now to where 8 weeks ago, we were $1.50, $1.80 more expensive. It just goes to show you that Brazil doesn't have an unlimited supply, and they're probably have exhausted most of those exportable supplies, and until they get new crop. So that's the question: is China going to keep buying from Canada, and Canada replaces their beans with our beans? Are they going to have to come to us maybe for a few beans for a little while until there is that new crop available in South America? That's the question. We've seen a little bit of a rally. I think some of it's NAFTA related, some of it's money flow, some of it's the fact that we're the cheapest source of beans by far in the world.
Right.
Export sales this morning were really good on beans, and so we are selling beans, and the demand's good even without China. and just hopefully, knock on wood, that can get taken care of at some, but probably won't be till after the election.
Yeah.
The fear is that goes, clear into late, year of 2019, and quicker we can get that done and get the market a little bit of stability, the better. But it's going to be a while now. It sounds like.
Yeah, there's definitely there's that tension in the market. You still feel it right now. I mean, there was a sigh of relief with the new NAFTA thing that kind of came through, but the China thing's still looming out there.
That's the big one, yeah.
Last podcast I did with Delaney Howe, she was talking about the African swine fever, flu, or whatever that's in China right now, and how they're kind of reporting that. And she made the comment that at a convention she was at, there was someone gave us talk on if China were to cull 5 to 10% of their hog population they have out there now, their hog herd they have now, that would pretty much take away the demand that they need from the U.S. dramatically, and it could cause they're going to be able to source what they need to source other places. What's your thoughts on that, and kind of where do you think that is?
Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be good if they have to do that.
Yeah.
It's not good from a demand side, soy meal demand side, domestically in China. They've threatened that they're going to cut 10 million metric tons of bean demand out of their, budget, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's easier said than done.
Right.
And you don't know if that's just political move and talk and positioning or not. So I think that they're, it's definitely a concern. It's definitely something that's supporting the hog market, right? Because they have such a massive demand for pork usage there that, it's supportive to our hog prices, but it's definitely not supportive from a meal demand standpoint. So yeah, it's definitely a concern, which is along with the whole China trade issue. We've got, what looks to be massive bean yields in a lot of areas, and bean yields likely on the rise here in coming USDA reports. So it's just another bearish factor that is going to kind of be there and weigh on the bean market for a while.
Yeah.
It's really a head scratcher to me that we're rallying. The beans are rallying like they have. I mean, we're working on 60 cents off the lows in 2.5 weeks. So it's a nice little bounce we've had, and I think producers, especially if you have on-farm storage, got to look at that as maybe an opportunity. You're going to get a tariff payment, the $1.65 on half your crop, and if you're selling like against March or May or even July bean futures, I mean, they're knocking on the door. Some of those months are now over $9. You tack your $1.65 and good bean yields, and it's good gross revenue. So I think we have to look at this as a little bit of an opportunity too. We've seen a nice rally. It could keep going if we get an agreement. If there's a tweet that comes out that we've agreed. Yep. Beans will rally 80 cents in 2 days, but that might be a while too.
Right.
You got to kind of take it when you can get it, I guess.
Take what you can get when you can get it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk about the livestock market a little bit now. We've hit on the hogs for a little bit. Cattle prices have done quite well, and they have held some pretty high numbers in that 120, higher 120 range. Where do you think that's headed, and how much longer do you feel like we could maintain this rally that we're on?
Yeah, cattle are amazing because for, 10 or 11 months in a row, each cattle on feed report comes out just is basically record numbers every time. And the market's really held up well. And so that tells you two things. There's good domestic demand and there's good export demand. And packers are making a lot of money. We kind of are in an adversarial role a lot of times as a feedlot, saying, I don't want that. But you want everybody to make money. I mean, if the packer's not making money, then their demand to buy your cattle aren't going to be there. So there's some good things happening, and we're now starting to get past, those biggest supplies we're going to be, kind of getting behind us now.
Right.
And as you get into winter and spring, those numbers should shrink a little bit, and we should hold together pretty well. It doesn't mean we'll go straight up, but I think we're probably in a range here where 112, 115 on the low side, maybe mid to upper 120s on the high side, probably favoring out, into late winter, early spring for the best part of that. But I think we hold together. That's a little bit of a bright spot that's going right now is the cattle sector. You know, the grain side is really beat up, and the feedlot guys holding their own right now, and that's good. I mean, at least they're pulling their weight here
Right.
and making a little bit of money when feed prices are low.
Right. Yep. Well, Chip, there's like I said, there's always a lot of stuff going on, a lot of volatility out in the marketplace still. And if guys want to work on a plan or help you, have you maybe revise a plan that they're working on, how would they do that?
Yeah, best way is just call us 309-550-7213. Be happy to chat with you and let you know what we might be able to do and how we could improve your plan. And even though it's busy with harvest right now, and it's always busy on the feedlot side, you know, the markets are always open every day, every weekday, and your revenue's changing on an hourly basis. So it's an important part of your operation.
Right on. All right, Chip. Well, hey, it was good to actually sit across from you for once
live
and
in
do this.
person.
And it was fun stuff that we don't get to do very often, man.
Yeah,
So,
I like it.
Good
We'll have to
times.
do it more often.
definitely have to do that. So
Vegas, what, next month?
yeah, let's try it. Let's go ahead. Let's go and try
Monthly?
that.
Let's do it.
A monthly trip to Vegas. That'll work. That'll work. All right, Chip. Well, till next time. I'll talk to you then.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
See ya.
bud.